accessing health facilities over since the first case of COVID-19 was confirmed.
It has been a new normal for the country since the first case of coronavirus was confirmed in the country in mid-March, with the number of infections having remained on an upward trajectory. The associated fear and apprehension appearing to have discouraged Kenyans from visiting health centers. Such has been the case in Malaba along the Kenya-Uganda border, where women and children appear to have shied away from visiting hospitals. Josephine Githinji, the nurse in charge at Rosalia Apex Hospital in Malaba, says the obtaining situation could expose children to serious illness, including polio and measles, that could be avoided if they get vaccinated.
Those who come from around or within the borders, just bring your babies for immunization. The expectant mothers, kindly come for your ANC clinics.
It is a threat that Magdalene Nasike is all too aware of, urging those with children to ensure they get their children vaccinated.
Licha kuna corona pia inafaa tuzingatie afya ya watoto waweze kupewa hizo chanjo ndio wasaidie pia kuzuia na magonjwa mengine.
Yusufara, Channel 1 News.
Elsewhere, Water PS Joseph Irungu inspected the KINALE Dam construction site in Kiambu County ahead of the start of the construction of the dam, projected to cost 41 billion shillings. The water project is expected to have the capacity to provide 200,000 cubic liters of water per day that will benefit at least 20,000 households. Now, the water pipe will stretch for up to 120 kilometers as part of efforts to ensure availability of clean, safe water.
The dam will complement the supply of water from the Bathi Dam, whose augmented water treatment plant handles a daily capacity of 4,000 cubic liters of water per day across its 12 kilometers of water distribution pipelines. While inspecting the project, Water Principal Secretary Josie Virungu stated that the KINALE and Bathi dams are part of government strategy to improve water harvesting and storage sports to achieve the over 1,000 liters per capita water availability in line with international standards. Irungu added that the project will improve quality, availability and sustainability of water in 10 areas across Limuru town.
We have gazetted some installations like Rwai, where we have had some running battles with the people. Kariobagi, those two are already gazetted as prohibited areas. So anybody getting in there, there is a necessary legislation that takes care of that.
The PS added that the Ministry of Water was partnering with the Ministry of Interior to bring to an end the encroachment of water towers, catchment areas and wetlands.
We also want to upscale that to the rest of the water installations across the country. Because unless we do that, we are going to have a lot of fights. Because people have started encroaching on water conservation areas.
Kiambu Governor James Nyoro lauded the initiative, saying the Bathi and KINALE dams will achieve water connectivity of over 75% in the county.
If you go towards those arid areas, you do a borehole that will give you 5 cubic. Now, if you put in electricity, 5 cubic is nothing. But from here, that water can be able to be supplied where there is 5 cubic. So we are looking at the whole plan. We are working with our water utility companies. As you know, we have 8 water utility companies.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Residents of Mwembe Kuku in Mvita constituency have decried what they say is neglect by authorities within the region. The residents say they have been living in deplorable conditions for the last 3 months after the sewer burst, spilling raw sewer within the area.
A strong stench is what welcomes you to Mwembe Kuku area. Women sitting outside their houses as their children, oblivious of the dangers posed by the raw sewage, play around. Businesses have continued to operate despite the hazards. Aziza is a troubled mother after her 2 children fell into the open trenches filled with sewage waste.
Ni watoto wangu. Wajua watoto kazi yao ni kurukaruka. Wakarukaruka watoto hapa mtaani, wakaingia watoto wawili. Kuosha kwao mpaka tukatumia sabuni ndo harufu itoke. Nguo tukaziroweka siku 2 ndo nguo kutakata.
The residents saying no action has been taken despite numerous complaints to relevant authorities.
Na tushalifikisha kwa kila kitengo cha wale watu wa siwa. Tumefika municipal, mimi mwenyewe binafsi nimekwenda, lakini watu wa siwa wakija hapa wanasema hapa pamechanganyika na maji ya mavi. Na wale watu wa siwa pia wakija wasema hapa patakanua waje watu wa maji ya mvua. Sasa hatujui ni nani bena yao hawa ambao yaweza litatua hili jambo.
Tunakokwenda tumejaribu kutoa mpaka bribe ya hela ili at least watu wa manispaa waweze kututolea hili jango la mavi ambayo tuko nayo. Lakini tukijaribu kwao wanasema hii ni mambo ya mavi. Tukienda kwa watu wa mavi wanasema hii ni mavi ya mvua. Kwa hivyo tuwaomba haya maji ya uchafu vovote, hata kama ni kulipa pesa, sisi tuko tayari tutalipa pesa. Maana hatuna njia ya mwisho ambayo tuko nayo ni hii. Tumeamua tuonyeshe Mombasa nzima ama Kenya nzima waone hili shida ambayo tuko nayo, waweze kuja kutuondolea hata kama ni kulipa kwa hela.
The residents say they have continued to face health risks ranging from diarrhea to malaria.
Watoto wanaharisha, mbu vile vile hatulali mpaka dawa sisi. Ikiwapo sisi hatukuchoma dawa hatulali.
They are now calling on authorities to intervene and fix the problem.
Ningependa mimi watusaidie, waangalie wenyewe hapa shida iliyoko. Watusaidie na sisi au mengine makubwa wasitufanyie, lakini mashimo watutengezee.
Kwa hivyo tuwaomba watusaidike na viongozi wote washikilie kazi yao, madamu wamejitolelea kutuongoza. Basi sisi hili ni jambo dogo. Watuongoze ili na sisi tuweze kujikinga na ugonjwa lingine lolote.
For Channel 1 Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Still in the coastal region, it was reprieve for over 20,000 people residing in Pate Island after power was restored in the area after close to a month without it. Lamu Women Representative Rueda Mohammed had on Monday joined area residents in storming Fazal Diesel Power Station, demanding restoration of power in the region. Yusuf Farah now reports.
Monday morning, and Lamu Woman Representative Rueda Mohammed led area residents in storming Fazal Diesel Power Station, protesting against delays in restoration of power to the island. A section of the residents who have had to live without power for almost a month will camp at the facility for 3 days, a move that appears to have borne fruits after power was finally restored.
Stima ilipotea, total blackout, but the island nzima, kisiwa ambacho kina watu zaidi ya 20,000, kutoka tarehe 9 mpaka leo stima haijarudi.
Rueda now blaming Kenya Power officials of laxity, accusing them of doing little to address the power challenges facing area residents.
Nilienda nikaeka question bungeni na nikaenda engineer akaniambia stima zitarudi by Friday. Hiyo ilikuwa ni hiyo wiki ya kwanza. Sasa Friday hiyo wiki ya kwanza tukangoja, stima hazikurudi. Nikauliza swali bungeni, nikaambiwa swali litajibiwa Tuesday, Jumanne ikifika wakawa watu wa ministry hawajakuja.
The woman representative blaming what she says are her political adversaries who are working with concerned officials intent on frustrating her development agenda.
Ukiona performance yake, kijiji kama hivi, kisiwa kama hiki kikose stima kwanza tarehe 9 mpaka leo tarehe 30. Hiyo inatosha kumtoa.
Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Now, the government has deployed 50 health experts to 14 counties as part of the coronavirus response program aimed at boosting counties' capacity to control the virus. Meanwhile, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka is urging Kenyans to resist the urge to travel up-country should the president lift the travel restrictions on the 6th of July. Beatrice Gatonye with details of county preparedness to the response of coronavirus.
With the number of COVID-19 infections expected to rise in the country in the coming weeks, the government has partnered with UNDP under the joint UNDP, UNICEF, UN Women COVID-19 Response Program, Devolution Ministry and COG to strengthen the capacity of counties to tackle the pandemic. In the partnership, the UN spent 54.3 million shillings to train 50 individuals who will work with the county medical staff in handling COVID-19 cases. They will be deployed as volunteers to 14 COVID-19 vulnerable counties, including Kakamega, Busia, Garissa, Kajiado, Machakos, Kilifi, Kiambu, Taita Taveta, Wajir, Kisumu, Migori, Mandera, Uasin Gishu and Nairobi.
So 14 of the counties in Kenya are from today going to benefit from the trained volunteers who are people trained, you know, who are technicians, who are people probably have gone through various trainings and they are ready to deliver the services to the people of Kenya.
Reorienting some of the already programmed support to respond to COVID-19 in response to the needs that county governments are asking us.
Kama taifa hili vita tutashinda kwa pamoja, kwa kuungana kama wafanyikazi ya Wizara ya Afya, leo volunteers, sisi maserikali na wananchi kwa pamoja kusema tutashinda adui huyu.
In the meantime, a section of interdenominational pastors fellowship from Ruiri, Rwarera, Mituntu, Meru County have raised concerns over the lack of representation at the interreligious committee that is working towards reopening of churches. Led by their chairman, Reverend James Gishuru, the pastors said they have not been consulted, noting that only mainstream churches are in the committee. They're urging the government to reopen churches with strict COVID-19 guidelines.
Kama watoto wataruhusiwa kwenda mashuleni, mbona wasiruhusiwe pia kuja Sunday school? Kwani kanisa na shule tofauti ni nini? Na ni nyumba sisi tutahakikisha kuna social distancing, kuna masks na sanitizers na alafu tutawapatia neno la Mungu.
Elsewhere, 5 family members living with disability at Nyakongo in Borabu Sub-County, Kisii County, have decried a looming exposure to COVID-19 owing to their condition. The family members whose disability involved hereditary bone malformation lack shelter, food and water. They're calling on government and well-wishers to come to their aid.
Vile mnatuona vita hivi, tuko watano walemavu na si kupenda kwetu, bali ni bali Mwenyezi Mungu vile kutuumba kwetu. Tunasema tu bali mko mwenye hata ana huruma kwetu. Tunasema tu atuone huruma.
Na tungeomba vile tutaweza tuwasaidie, sababu hawezi enda shambani. Shamba unaona ni kidogo, ndio wapate usaidizi kutoka serikalini.
And Wiper Democratic Movement leader Kalonzo Musyoka has cautioned Kenyans to refrain from traveling upcountry should the president lift the travel restrictions on 6th. Kalonzo says the excitement by Kenyans to leave the city to the rural areas, although justified due to the economic situation, may have serious consequences given that expert opinion has shown that many Kenyans might be asymptomatic. Kalonzo says the likely postponement of reopening of schools from September to January is a clear sign that the country is yet to contain the spread of the virus.
You don't know how this thing is. It could very well be that you are asymptomatic. You're carrying the virus and you don't know. Now, I want you to know, fellow Kenyans, that our elderly people live in the villages. So there's a real threat that you are now going to transmit this virus to the aged Kenyans who are in the villages and who are actually very far from some of these hospitals. So we must be prepared.
Beatrice Gatonyenge-Tich, Channel 1 News.
Thank you very much, Beatrice Gatonyenge-Tich. We now want to take you live to Milimani Law Courts, where our court reporter, Sarafina Robi, has been touching base for us just to give us an update on the activities happening there at Milimani Law Courts, where we understand we also had the Chief Justice, David Maraga, just visiting the area to see the automation, the e-filing systems that have been implemented there, as well as other cases concerning a German national Thomas Scheller, who was charged on several counts of defilement and also is seeking to be released on bail in reference to his conditions, his age and his health condition. So, Sarafina Robi, if you can hear me, what is the latest from the courts?
Thank you.
Indeed, a very good afternoon. Allan, currently live in the scanning center here at the Milimani Law Courts, whereby a number of activities are ongoing, as you can see, also around this building, whereby currently the main activity that is ongoing at the moment is that they are scanning manual files and uploading them into the e-filing system that was launched yesterday by the Chief Justice David Maraga. Well, a few minutes ago, we were able to speak to the Chief Justice who was here addressing Milimani low-codes, whereby he was going through the system, just checking around.
Indeed, we do apologize for the quality of sound there. We shall touch back with Sarafina Robi once we rectify that small issue. And now back to the coastal region. Mombasa-based businessman Fahim Salim Said has pleaded not guilty to obtaining 11.2 million shillings fraudulently. Salim, who is accused of defrauding 5 people in separate incidents, including his ex-mother-in-law, will remain in police custody pending the hearing of his bail application case in 2 days.
The Mombasa-based businessman took plea in a case in which the 5 complainants are also witnesses in the case. Fahim is accused of theft of 10 million shillings from Fahim Muhammad Ali and issuing a bad check amounting to 999,000 Kenyan shillings to his ex-mother-in-law. The suspect denied charges of cheating by way of fraudulently tricking a businessman, Ismail Noor, and obtaining 4 Samsung phones worth 420,000 shillings. The suspect is also being accused of obtaining 650,000 shillings by giving a false promise. He will be forced to spend 2 more extra days in police cells awaiting his bail application ruling on Friday this week. The court set the date after hearing the application in which the suspect's counsel, Jared Magolo, argued he should not be denied bail. The prosecutor led the victims' counsels Daniel Wamotse, Eugene Wangila and Caroline Nganga in a spirited fight in their submission to deny the accused bail.
Meanwhile, police in Samburu County have launched a manhunt for a man accused of defiling his niece. The suspect is said to have defiled the 15-year-old girl after she was sent to his house to get utensils.
Ilikuwa 6 ikielekea 7 ndiposa mama akanituma niende kwa nkoo niende sahani zilikuwa huko. Alipofungua akaniambia enda uchukue sahani hapo jikoni. Wakati nilienda na yeye akaachwa nyuma, akalock mlango huko ndani. Akanirusha hapo kwa kiti yake hapo yenye ilikuwa hapo jikoni.
It's a story that has become so common. Young girls defiled by people closest to them. Mary, not her real name, becomes the latest victim of a growing number of girls who have suffered defilement or rape across the country.
Nalia hivi, alikuwa ananiumiza huko kifua, nikamwambia niache. Sasa ufaa zake zilikuwa on. Nikijaribu kuitana hakuna mwenye alikuwa anasikia, lakini kuna wenye nilikuwa nimeacha nje. Sasa aliponifinyilia kabisa ndipo niliumia. Nikafaint. Wakati nilijisikia nikiwa hosi.
After the incident, the accused would go back to her mother's house and ask the mother to come for her child.
Ndio mtoto amekaa nje. Sasa ndio ni kukaa kitu saa 2 ndio Isa Kikonyo akakuja. Akaniambia hiyo kazini yangu. Akaniambia uko na pesa kwa simu unisavasie. Nikamwambia hapana. Sasa baadaye kidogo tena akarudi. Akaniambia kuja uone mtoto yako. Kwenda kuona mtoto alikuwa kwa kiti yake amefaint.
Her daughter, who lay on the seat unconscious after the heinous act, was rushed to Samburu County Referral Hospital for treatment, and doctors confirmed that indeed the girl had been defiled.
Ndio alitibiwa, akapeana hiyo maneno yote, akasema Isa Kikonyo saa ile aliendea sahani, alimshushanisha kwa kiti na akamulalia, akashindwa hata kupiga nduru. Sasa kumwangalia alikuwa amemrape. Kutoka Friday mpaka saa hii bado hajashikiliwa hatua na nimefanya mambo yote. Sana ulisa haki ya mtoto iko wapi?
Samburu Central Sub-County Police Commander Alex Rotich said the suspect fled when he learned that he was being sought by police.
Mhalifu alitoroka. Na vile unajua serikali hapo na mkono mrefu, atatoroka lakini hawezi kujificha. Naimisa hii watu wa sehemu hii awachane maneno hii ya kuharibu watoto wadogo.
Despite hefty penalties prescribed by law on sexual offences in the country, there has been a rise in such cases over the past couple of months, with human rights crusaders calling for a need for heightened vigilance to curb such vices. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
Very sad indeed. Now, Baringo County MCAs are now threatening to impeach the County Executive Committee member in charge of finance as the rift between the County Executive and the Assembly widens. The impeachment threat comes after the CEC failed to present the budget estimates to the House, as is the practice. The threat exacerbates the ongoing differences between the County Legislative arm and the Executive, who have been locking horns over proposals contained in the budget estimates. The CEC's terms his failure to present the budget as an act of cowardice, even as they accuse the County Executive of presenting 4 different documents that do not capture the views and aspirations of residents presented during the public participation forums.
And the people are watching, people are expecting you to work, and you are absent from duty. Why are we paying salary when the CEC is not here?
Now, the coronavirus pandemic has disrupted prevention and treatment services for non-communicable diseases. Though the Kenyan government has enhanced health services and infrastructure to treat people with chronic illnesses, persons living with non-communicable diseases remain at a higher risk of severe COVID-19 related illnesses and death.
These are diseases which are chronic in nature, and therefore, that being the case, these conditions kind of reduces the body immunity. What I mean by the body immunity is that they brings down the level, the ability of the body to protect itself against various infection, and therefore, during this time of COVID-19, taking into account that a person living with NCD, the immunity level is not as good as that of a normal person. And therefore, the need of person living with NCD to take extra care.
Now, the global coronavirus cases have hit over 10.6 million, with over 500,000 fatalities, according to latest data from Johns Hopkins University. The development coming as United States on Wednesday recorded a new record high of 52,000 cases in a single day, with the total caseload now standing at nearly 2.7 million. And as coronavirus cases in Africa continue to surge, Egypt, which has nearly 70,000 confirmed cases, has started reopening the pyramids to tourists.
The United States of America recorded 52,982 coronavirus cases on Wednesday, a new one-day record, pushing the total caseload to nearly 2.7 million, with over 128,000 fatalities already recorded. The states are now rolling back plans to open up, with New York pausing plans to allow indoor dining. Arizona, which received praise from President Trump for its reopening just weeks ago, is now closing bars, gyms and cinemas for a month. This coming as U.S. President Donald Trump, long opposed to wearing a face covering in public, says he supports wearing masks, adding that wearing of coverings do not need to become mandatory to curb COVID-19 spread. In Asia, New Zealand's health minister has resigned after criticism of the government's response to coronavirus and his own breaches of lockdown rules.
This morning I have formally tendered my resignation as Minister of Health, which has been accepted by the Prime Minister. Serving as Minister of Health has been an absolute privilege, particularly through these extraordinary last few months. It's no secret that health is a challenging portfolio. I have given it my all. But it has become increasingly clear to me that my continuation in the role is distracting from the government's overall response to COVID-19 and the global pandemic.
David Clark had already been demoted after breaking rules to take his family to the beach. Last month, all COVID-19 restrictions were lifted in New Zealand and the nation was declared virus-free. Across Africa, Egypt, which has recorded over 69,000 coronavirus cases, has reopened its pyramids to tourists after they were closed as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. However, only a few tourists were spotted on the day of the reopening. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Nancy Okware's story now brings us to our first break here, just about 24 minutes past the hour. Remember, you can interact with us about the stories that we've aired for you today at KBC Channel 1 and Aoko, Aoko_76 on Twitter and other social media platforms. But for now, let's have the break.
The entertainment and creative industry is facing significant disruption from the COVID-19 outbreak. Theaters have been closed, production schedules altered, events